Good morning. How are you? Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for joining me. Where are you calling in? Where are you joining in from? India? Wow. Australia? Oh my gosh. What time is it there for you right now? What time is it for you in India? What time is it for you in Australia? 7:40 p.m. at midnight. Wow. I don't think I've ever had you guys join one of my lives before. So I'm curious, I feel like intuition definitely attracted you here for some reason. This is a really nice informal Q&A. So I encourage you to ask me anything. Tell me why you decided to join in on this live. Is there a specific reason? Welcome, everyone. Write in the comment chat where you are joining in from and if this is your first live with me. I'd like to hear and discuss about wisdom. Yes, wisdom. Yes. Where do you think wisdom comes from? Because we all have, different schools of thought or perceptions of even intuition. Where do you think intuition comes from? This is an interesting question. Where is the source of intuition? Welcome, meditators. Welcome, welcome. Okay, one's core beliefs. Nice. Oh, Carrie from the UK. First time here. Yeah, it's maybe the afternoon in the UK. Welcome. I love this. We have people from Australia, India, Europe. I'm based in Canada. I live an hour north of Montreal. Welcome, welcome. So this, for anyone who's new, I encourage you to type anything in the chat, anything you want to talk about. We want to talk about, some of us talk about wisdom, our core beliefs. Where do you think intuition comes from? Where do you think intuition comes from? There's different schools of thought about intuition. Some people think it is really the subconscious mind, really like maybe experiences or beliefs are, held in the subconscious, and when it's needed, it comes out, and when we need to access it. I come from a different school of thought, which is, I believe my intuition is a connection to my higher self, or whatever you want to call it, universal wisdom. Let's use the word wisdom today. Universal wisdom, tapping into the library of wisdom, or there's so many things you could say. Oh my God, I have the word cosmos that is coming to my brain. I've never said that before, but like just some collective consciousness. And I'm saying it above, but like around, around that I can tap into. And it sees a lot more of my life than I do. I'm living a human life, very like, I just see a little path, but I feel like this universal wisdom sees the big picture and maybe wants me to get there, or wants me to meet this person, or wants me to live here, wants me to do this, and it's guiding me all the time. So I teach through sharing stories. All I have is stories to share about my life. So I like to share stories of my experiences with intuition. So Kelly says, There's been times where I've listened to my intuition and have found that it has taken me to some really amazing places. However, when I get into my routine of life, work, etc., I start to find my vibration is lower and find it harder to tap into my intuition. Do you have any insights into this? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. When you say your vibration is lower, how would you define your vibration as lower? And then I'm also curious too, Kelly, when you say taking me to some amazing places, like do you have any examples? Because we can learn from one another. So what are some amazing places your intuition has taken you? Anyone can share this. Anyone here can share this. Yeah. And also, how do you know when your vibration is low? Like, what does that look like for you? For me, I can be feeling really, really good, really high on life, really energetic. And I pull myself down and I lower my energy by the foods I eat. So it's weird. It's like if I'm too happy or too blissed out, it doesn't sound good. If I'm really feeling well, sometimes it's like that energy is really high and hard to feel that much. So I'll grab candy. I love sugar yeah. And so I'll take sugar and boom, it brings me back into my body and feeling low. And it's like, at some level, it's like, oh, I'm used to that. Interesting. I am used to that feeling. This is why we may stay in uncomfortable relationships or jobs or whatever because we're comfortable with the discomfort. Kelly, I would define my vibration being lower, such as finding not much joy in life. Yeah. So I don't know if I talk about this book all the time in these lives, but it's David Hawkins, Letting Go, the book Letting Go. And he talks about the levels of vibration, let's say. And I used to think that love was such a high vibration. We just all need to be in love and live in a state of love. And it is a high vibration. But an even higher vibration, Kelly, is joy. I use the word joy. So it's actually much higher vibration. So this is the message I love to share on these lives is by following your joy. I feel like our intuition speaks to us through what lights us up, what brings us joy, where we're drawn to, who we're attracted to, what places we all have different places we want to live. We all have different jobs we want to do. We all have different interests in our pastimes. We all have different partners we're drawn to. None of us are the same. And we have to honor our own wisdom. Some of you are using wisdom. We each have that own wisdom. And our neighbor or our family or a brother or sister or our parents are not going to understand our wisdom because it's so unique to us. It's so unique to us. So yeah, a big thing, like we get into the daily grind. I say this daily grind of life. Work and sleep and chores and all of this stuff. But it's like, where can you find some joy in your day to really help you? So having a list, what does that look like? For me, it's dancing. I need to dance. Every week, I need to dance. And it's hard. It's like, oh, I don't want to drive to the city. I hate going to the city. I want to be in bed reading. But it's my medicine. And I know it's my medicine. And I know that I need this on a physical level, emotional level, energetic level. It clears the week. It releases the anxiety and stress and everything built up. And it brings joy and community and confidence and everything into my life. And so it's a medicine and it's a practice and I go do it. So things that bring me joy might be being in nature. I stop work and I'm an entrepreneur. I love projects. I want to continue in my flow. It's like, no, what's more important for me is to feel joy. That's a higher priority for me than maybe money or status or all these accomplishments. If I'm vibrating, we're using vibrational states. If I'm vibrating at a vibration of joy, I think I can bring more joy and more contribution to the world than if I'm angry and stressed. And, like we don't realize our impact all the time. We can be at a store, we could just smile at someone. And if we're in our joy, we just simply smile at someone. And this can shift to their energy. And then they go out and it's a ripple effect, It's like, and then they go out and they smile at someone and they smile. It's like really free, really easy. But how often are we doing this? We're so stuck in our world. We're still like, I'm in a hurry. I have to do this before traffic, but you have to get home and make supper, da da da. And it's like without dropping into the present moment. And that's what intuition is, really, like being present with what's alive. In this moment, I am drawn to this place. This wasn't my plan, but I'm drawn to this route or this place or this whatever. And it's about connecting to that moment by moment feeling. And it's like, hey, what could, and stopping and, like, do you ever go to stores where I don't know, it's so cultural. Every place is very cultural. Even in Canada, there's like every province is a completely different culture to me. But there's some places where you'll go and go to the store and the cashier will stop and have like a really nice conversation with you. Sometimes cashiers don't, but sometimes they do. And I leave feeling really happy and really like, wow, that was so nice. And then I pass that energy on. So their job is maybe a minimum wage job and what they're doing, but what their purpose is like spreading joy. They're, for me, in such alignment, in such divine alignment. People who are working in service industries where society may not pay them or see their value, but like I see them living on purpose. They are so on purpose with spreading joy and impacting. Someone comes in and they can be really in a hurry and then they can just do one little moment, one little compliment, one little question, one anything can shift someone into another state, and then they continue on. And maybe they're a big boss of a company, and then or maybe a mom, and they come home and they're nicer to their children, or like the ripple effect is enormous. And I want to remind you guys of that ripple effect. What if we were all living our intuitive life, our own truth, and we knew our own wisdom? We wouldn't be influenced by media. We wouldn't be manipulated by society. We wouldn't be controlled by parents. We wouldn't be discouraged by teachers. I've been discouraged a lot by teachers. I looked up so much to my teachers. My parents were like, yeah, you can do anything, JD. If you want to be an intuitive, be an intuitive. But my teachers, who I really respected, they said, that's not a job. You can't actually earn a living doing that. And it took me a decade to drop that story and remember my own wisdom, right? So Kelly was saying like, hey, these amazing places, as in higher vibrational states, and finding I make strong and meaningful connections with others and experiences that truly resonate, such as music collaborations. Yeah, your photo, it looks like you're playing the guitar. Yeah, that's in the flow, in alignment. How do you find, finding I make strong and meaningful connections? How, I'm curious, do you find these connections? The people in my life today are really from intuition. I go like, okay, go to this event. And then I'll see someone, I'll be like, I want to be friends with that person. And then Like just the most random. And then I just follow that inner voice all the time. Yeah. So Office says, when there's a low vibe, my perception toward my higher goals deteriorates. Interesting. Oh, so interesting. Please say more about that. Ooh, there's some hearts. Yeah, there's some resonance with that. Please say more. My perception toward my higher self deteriorates. There's some people who resonate with that. Please say more. Like your perception, what will you say? Will you start saying negative things to yourself, Office, about your higher self? Or like, well, what does that look like for you? Kelly, I make these connections through strong intuition. However, my question is, how do I use my intuition when my vibration is lower? Okay. Yes, you asked that. Yes. Well, what my goal is for you is to focus less on your intuition and focus more on doing the things that bring you joy. So I see you playing the guitar. So if you're in a low vibration, as you call it, if you're not feeling well, go do the things that bring you joy. Because, for me, I teach, slow your life down. I hold retreats at my home, slow your life down, quiet yourself, meditate, do yoga, and intuition will come. Let's go in the forest, intuition will come. Okay, that's my way. Okay, because I don't play the guitar. I'm not that musical. So I do things, I go hiking in the forest, I go dancing, but for you, your connection to your higher self and to your joy is maybe jamming and playing the guitar. Do you know what I mean? So focus when you're at a low vibration and unhappy and unstressed or tired. Looking within, finding the wisdom within. What do I need right now? I'm super, super big in self-care. I spend hours every day in self-care. What does that look like? That looks like an hour of yoga every day. I don't have children. This is why I can say this. Like, I can't imagine mothers out there. I'm not a mother. But I know mothers that wake up at 5. They wake up at 5. Like just yesterday, I was teaching Kundalini yoga, and this woman from, Western states, she was up at 5. My yoga was at 8 a.m. in my time, and she was up at 5 and she joined me. So, and she has 5 boys or something like this. So whatever. It's choices. We can make choices in life, but I will connect and do yoga, which is a really nice way to balance, to bring harmony to my mind and body, to feel like my body is stronger. I will go hiking, ideally every day in the forest. I'm really big on personal development. So I'm reading self-help positive books, like always non-fictional books, something where I'm learning every day. So I'm reading, or I'm listening to podcasts that really help me expand my mind. Like really, like, okay, these are things I need to work on with relationships or work or personal development or confidence, or I'm today I might be coming across as confident, but it's taken me decades, and I like to remind everyone this, it's taken me decades to have this confidence in myself, in my intuition. And in many aspects of my life, I'm very intuitive. And there are some areas of my life where I'm less, where my intuition goes out the window, or it needs to be developed a bit more. For example, like I write books on this. I wrote my latest book is Intuitive Business Connections, and it's all about, it's really about all aspects of our life, but connecting intuitively in business and in our personal life. But I'm not writing books about following your I've done podcasts on this, intuition and relationships, but that's harder, when the heart's open and there's other dynamics. And for me, I need to work more on that. But I'm conscious of that. I'm very conscious of that. Yes. So I want to read anyone who writes a comment. I definitely will read it and acknowledge it. Office. So it's complicated to explain in text. Yeah, basically, my cognition is perceiving wisdom becomes lesser. I know. Office, you said it perfectly. Like, we're trying to say such intent. We're trying to talk about a topic that's so intense and so vast and so unknown and so out of this world, and we're trying to bring it into word and human and a form that's hard. So it is definitely a challenge to talk about this, and that's why I have like nothing to teach. It's just like, hey, this is how I live intuition in my life. Here's some fun stories. Let's share together. I don't know what will come through. This is why I love this space, because I love questions. I love talking about this. This is something I'm very passionate about. I'm talking really fast today because this is something I think we need to come and talk about more often. And this is why I'm here doing these lives with you guys. So Kelly, thank you, JD. It's a nice confirmation to tap into joy. I recently have been focusing more on making money and reaching my goals, that there hasn't been a balance. I appreciate the encouragement. Yes, and this is what I read in my book a lot, because I'm an entrepreneur, and for probably a decade, I was like in the grind, struggling, waking up, going to networking events from 7 to 9, and then working all day, and then going to a networking event from 5 to 7. Like in this grind, just trying to get by. And then I reached a flow. I reached a surrender. I'm going to stop logically fighting, and I'm going to tap into my intuitive wisdom and where I need to go, what I need to do, choosing to cherish my time more, respect my time more, not going to everything. There's infinite things I can go to, going like, what feels right? And when I got to a more surrendered state, which is intuition, is receiving. It's the feminine of receiving. We need both. I was still in my masculine. We all have both. It doesn't matter what body we identify with. We all have this masculine, feminine within, and I love talking about this. And I was always in my masculine and going and doing. And then I had to go and I had to receive. I had to work on flow and mystery and unknown and following my intuition and then taking action, but taking what I call inspired action, not this like headstrong making money, because yeah, we need money. We all need money. This is a fact. Like if I was making lots of money, I could be doing these lives every day, but we're not paid to do these lives. This is just volunteer contribution. And I would love to do these every day. If you see value in this, please support me, encourage, share. You can leave donations, but I still need to work. Because I'm a human who hasn't chosen to be a nun, and a nun in this life. I've chosen to be a householder and be in this world and try and find joy and enlightenment through my day-to-day life. And so, wow, curious. Why wow? What did I say? I have no idea what I said that could bring a wow. Yeah, so bringing balance. Let's talk about balance. Yeah. So the moment I started to work in more of an intuitive work, we're talking about work, which is my favorite topic, work and intuition. I was guided to things, opportunities, investments, more ideas, more inspired ideas, And then I started to work a lot less, and I started earning a lot more. And so it's like, oh, it doesn't have to be such a struggle, because I have this story. I was brought up as a young girl. I need to work very hard for my money. At that time, decades ago, many decades ago, I would be, picking weeds outside, as a young girl, picking weeds, trying to earn money, and I would get $1 an hour, and so As an adult, I've learned I have to work extremely hard to earn a dollar. That's my story. I've had to work on breaking that story and letting it go because there's only so much time in a day. I can't be working, that much. So also when I started my company, Kelly, I actually had a fear of success. It's kind of a weird fear maybe for people to think, oh, the fear of success. But I was very afraid, what could that look like? I had a negative perception of money. I had a negative perception of rich people until I did a lot of inner work and I went to a lot of workshops and reading. That's why personal development is so important, because it really helps you up level. And I read a quote that I love. I got this from T. Harv Eker. He's a Canadian. He's written books, The Millionaire Mind. Love his books. I've gone to a bunch of his workshops and love his. I don't know if this is his quote or from someone else, but I got it from him. And he says, money makes you more of who you already are. Money makes you more of who you already are. I was like, whoa. So I had this fear that if I was super successful, I would be, I don't know the stories. I forgot. This was decades ago. I forgot the stories I said. People wouldn't like me. I would have to change friends. I would become greedy. I don't know what the stories were. I don't know. But then I realized, hey, at that time when I started my company and I didn't have money to pay my bills, I was still sending donations. I was still generous with everything I had. I was still generous with my time and helping when I could. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not greedy, I'm generous. So I had to switch my story. If I had more money, I can be even more generous. So again, it's always about, wisdom. I'm always trying to get wisdom from books and other people and develop personal development, but then I have to sit with it and I have to process things myself, and I have my own wisdom. I can get a lot of outside information. And then when I quiet myself, so if I'm really for me, Kelly, I'm a low vibration when I'm in a city. Or if I see the news, I don't have TV and I don't watch the news, but if I see something or hear news or I'm in chaos or a large crowd, my vibration decreases very fast. And so I get rid of all of that and I go to nature. I go alone. I turn off the chaos and I read, I look within, I might meditate. And then my intuition, because I have all the wisdom within, but if I'm so bombarded by busy and chaos, it's harder for me to hear my intuition. You can still hear it. Sometimes intuition can yell, but for me, I call it a quiet whisper. So I need to be at a more receptive, calm, relaxed state. And my nervous system needs to be relaxed. If I'm in a fight or flight or adrenaline and cortisol and all this stuff, then I may not trust my guidance, or I may be in reaction mode. And intuition is not reaction or fear. Reaction is calm and collect and neutral and non-judgmental. So I've created a premium course with Insight Timer. It's called Reconnect to Your Intuition. It's a 12-day online course, and it's great because it's what is intuition? How do we follow? How do we know how we receive intuition? So that's the first course. Then is what intuition is not. So how do you know the difference between intuition and maybe fear, or ego? So you can learn about that. Resistance, types of intuition, our inner child. So it's 12-day program, and it's on Insight Timer. I invite all of you guys to check out my bio page, which has my website. You can look at all of the retreats and books and YouTube and podcasts and radio shows that I have. You're welcome to do that. But yeah, if you want to learn more, specifically on intuition, I would encourage you all to sign up for the Insight Timer course. So Kelly writes, I found that when I was living in a place that resonated so much with me, I found it is where my intuition was heightened. I have not moved to a place that doesn't resonate so much with me. This is to be closer to family. I've longed to move back to the place I resonate with, though I gave away a great job, etc., and it's much harder to move back. Yeah. I'll have to move again in a few years, though I made it much harder moving where I have, as it's an expensive city to live in. I've tried to figure out where I'm going to live and have a great life again. How do you make life-changing choices when there are too many options and limited resources? I keep getting the call to move back to the place I once lived. So confused, I might need to do your course. Yes. So, yeah, this is good. It sounds like you have a lot of clarity of like, I know that I need to move there. Great. That's awesome, because a lot of people don't even have that clarity, Kelly. People are often very confused. They don't know where they're drawn. They don't know what will bring them joy. But going back to family, we are as humans supposed to live in community. You know, this was our ancestors lived in community. We don't. Like, I like a peaceful life. And I don't think it's normal to live alone. I'm alone. I live alone in the forest. And I don't think it's natural. I don't think it's normal, even though I enjoy it. I think we're supposed to be in community and help one another. And family, when I go back, because I live very far from my family, and I don't realize my level of stress and anxiety until I go back to where my family is. And then I feel like my nervous system relax and I feel so supported by them. And I feel like, oh, I have my community. I have a tribe. I have people who love me and adore me and who will be there for me. Whereas where I live now, I don't have family system. I'm not in a relationship. I don't have roommates. I don't have children. I'm alone. I don't feel alone because I feel extremely connected to source. So I don't feel lonely ever. And I notice my nervous system relax when I'm with family. So I want to answer your question though. Yeah, we're living, that's the thing. When I was stuck in my head, that's what yours went. So when I'm stuck in my head, Kelly, I'm like in my brain of limitation. And I might limit myself a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like, okay, this is what I can afford. This is the time I have. This is the energy level. And I'm so in my head. And it's very limiting. When I drop out of my head and I tap into, I know my soul, I know myself, whatever you want to call it. I know I need to be there. Then you can ask deeper questions to yourself. Not in your head. Ask deeper questions. How can I receive the resources to be able to go there? Or at a place that resonates with me more. Again, we're so limiting. Maybe you're like, oh, I need to be there, but maybe there'll be more drama and chaos if you're, super close to, childhood friends or your family. Who knows? I don't know. But like then you start asking, how can I receive the resources, or how can I receive more time to live in a different place or to move? Okay. And I think the importance of intuition is the ability to ask the right questions. If we ask ourselves the right questions, and a lot of us are scared to ask questions. Am I happy? Ooh, that's a scary question. Am I fulfilled in this relationship? Ooh, sometimes we don't want to know the answer. Do I need to move? Do I need to change jobs? And those are some big questions. And I'm not saying go out and, do all of these massive life changes. I'm saying practice with little daily activities and steps and following your intuition for little things to build your confidence in yourself. So then when there's big life decisions, you have that confidence affirmation. Oh, thanks, Kelly, for your donation. That's so sweet. So that affirmation of like, yes, because it can be, it's taken me decades, you guys, to have this confidence. I was doing a radio show with I have a twin sister, and she was saying to me, she goes, JD, you were just born like this. You were born with this confidence, and I wasn't. And I was like, no, 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 no. We were brought up the exact same. I have a lot less confidence than my sister. I have a lot less self-esteem than my sister. My sister is very self-assured. She chooses beautiful relationships, beautiful things, good. She has a level of high self-esteem. But she was like thinking she didn't have confidence. And I was like, no, 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 no. I had like less confidence than you. It's a muscle that needs to be worked on and strengthened, like anything. We have physical muscles. We have our brain that needs to be, worked and stimulated. And we need our intuition that needs to be worked on and stimulated and I try and live an intuitive life 100% of the time, and sometimes I don't, because humans have free will. Sometimes I receive intuitive guidance and I ponder it, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to be a human and live out this human experience. What happens? Lose money, lose time, heartbreak, lose confidence. But I consciously choose, I received this intuitive guidance, but I'm going to try not following it and see where it goes. And sometimes I'm still like that. I try and not live like that, but I'm still like that too. And then I have more stories to share with you guys, like, hey, what not to do, or hey, what to do. Thank you for your guidance and listening to me. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, well, thanks for being here, Kelly. This is a midnight for Kelly. Like, this is amazing. You are showing up. I don't think I've stayed up till midnight for a very long time. So, yeah, I'm so happy you're here. I really hope you'll follow some of these courses too, and come to more lives. I do these lives on the weekends. Maybe I'll try to do some earlier for people in Australia and all over, and that's crazy. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, but to ask your question about to ask yourself questions. How can I get the resources? And it's amazing, Kelly. Last year, you'll like this story. So I had a financial goal, to invest in real estate. And my limited mind said, okay, with my mom, I can afford 1 acre. That was max. 1 acre is our financial limit. And who am I? I love quoting, who am I to ask for more? I don't need more than 1 acre. I'm going to create a little community, a little retreat center. I only need 10 little cabins. 1 acre can cover that. I can plant some fruit trees. There's more than enough. This was my rational brain that said that. This was just last year, Kelly. And then I was guided. I don't know how. I receive intuition through a more clear audience. So I receive more neutral messages of do this, go here, da-da. So it was, go check out this site. So I'm online looking, and I found this piece of land in an area that I really liked. And it said something like Dreamland or something like a big headline, And it was more expensive. It was definitely more expensive, but it was 42 acres. I'm looking for 1. In my brain, I only need 1. But some higher self or something was like, you need to go to this land, 42 acres. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of sent the link to my mom. And when I saw it, I knew. When I saw this, and I'd been, traveling for a year looking for land. It wasn't my first place I looked at. I was looking for a while. I had discernment. They could be magical, but often I went to places where I was like, no, get me out of here right now. And it was very clear. So I had confidence and discernment in my intuitive guidance, just as a side note. So I send this link to my mom, because she's the financial investor in this. And she said, no, it's too far from town. Too far. It's too isolated. I was like, no, it's a half an hour from town. It's not. It's not. And I was like, I'm going to look at this land. I go and I look at this land. And as early on, quickly, pretty soon after, I'm walking on this land. And out of the blue, I don't know where this came from. I'm still, this is all still a mystery for me too. This is why I call it the magic of his intuition. Like it's living up. When I tap into intuitive life, it's a magical life. I love this life. I don't like being in my 3D conscious mind, rational, limited human self. I like to be in the wonder and the magic of life. So, okay, I just follow along my intuition. I'm walking on this land and I received this message that came to me. It was not my brain. It was not my thoughts because it was so surprising to me. And it said, JD, this is our gift to you. You just have to say yes. I was like, what? And I was like, yes. Here's my credit card. What do I need to do? Like, yes. Like, yes. It was this is our gift to you. Because, it wasn't 42 times the price as the 1 acre of land I was looking at. It was like fractional amount of money per acre. And it was like, what? I felt like this was a gift. This was a gift from the universe. And I would have never even looked at 42 acres. But I was guided, like, go to this site, look at it, contact this person, go there. And it was effort. It was effort. It was 5 hours by a bus. And, it's like my intuition tells me to do things and it's not always easy. It's not my intuition is often making me step out of my comfort zone, which is uncomfortable. And it creates stress sometimes and creates anxiety and it creates like, it's like you have to, the word I want to say, you have to be a warrior. You have to be a warrior. Especially if you're like, oh, I want to move. This is huge. This is huge life decision. I want to move, right? Who else would want to move here? Does anyone can relate? Like, I know I need to move, but I'm too scared. Write it in the chat box. I know there is a different place for me to be happier. Wherever we go, there we are. We know this line, we can't escape ourselves. But for example, I know myself enough. Yeah, Nell, I'm moving. Yeah, exactly. Are you moving far away from where you currently live now? I'm curious about people's moving stories. Like what's this is kind of the topic today. Like, how do you know? An hour and a half away. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, that's fun. It might not be like across the world or something, but still, for me now, that's a great point. I live an hour north of Montreal, and I know myself enough and my temperament and my personality and my goals. If I lived in Montreal, a city, but more like Montreal because it's a bigger city. I can live in the small cities, but like Montreal's pretty big. It's pretty chaotic and it's a nice city. It's beautiful. For a city, it's gorgeous. But me, not being a city person, if I lived there and I lived in a small apartment, I know with my temperament and my, my interests, I would go into probably a deep depression. I would lose all life force energy. I would lose all will. I would be overwhelmed. I would be isolating. Like my brain would be busy. I would be like, it'd be overstimulated. I'm more like a highly sensitive person. So I know the limits of myself and my boundaries. Moving just 1 hour, I live in paradise. For me, this is my dream home. This is my paradise. I hold retreats here, actually. If anyone wants to learn more, go to my Insight Timer page. I'm holding Reconnect Your Intuition retreats this summer. It's in the most beautiful lake I've ever seen. I've traveled the world, and for me, this is the most beautiful lake ever. I've been here for 10 years. I'm still taking pictures every day. And it's magical. I go hiking in the forest. I read on the dock in the mornings. I'm blissed out, and it's like 1 hour difference away. So anyways, don't underestimate this, Nell. That's very good. You're moving. Nicole, welcome. I don't need to move, but you just gave me ideas of purchasing land for my dream of having retreats. This, I think, is the future, Nicole. Tell me more of this. People need this. I received this intuitive guidance during 2020. The strong message is more like community retreats. People need this. People need, when we were all isolated, the message was we need to come together as community, right? So I kept getting these messages. I was doing all of the right things, like, okay, getting bank loans and looking for this and looking for that in Canada. And it didn't necessarily work out. But then I went backpacking, and I found bigger, better, more beautiful land that I had not even ever imagined possible for me. And it was like, my dream was 1 acre. And it was like, I can't even imagine what the universe has. So if you feel that intuitive guidance and calling, Nicole, keep asking yourselves questions. Where do I need to go? Where am I drawn to? What country am I drawn to? What area? I don't know where you live, Nicole. I'm so curious where you live, where your dream is. Say more about this. What kind of retreats you want to do? I would love to learn more about that. Hope you can follow me. Hope you can join more of the middle of the U.S. Nice. Is there a specific Missouri? So cute, so neat. That's so interesting. Yeah. Okay. From city living to country with septic and well and chickens, a very new and different life. Yes, Nell, for sure. Like, yeah, I have well water, drinking water from the earth, and not any of this, fluoride, chlorine filled. Well, it's probably chlorine, and I don't know what's in the well water, but yeah, different reality for sure, different energy for sure. Wow, lots of beautiful land in Missouri. I've never been to Missouri. This is so cool. Oh, yes, Nell, what lake? Yeah, it's a very, very little lake. It's called Lac Renault. Lac Renault. Renault means fox in French. I live in a French area. Kelly, yes, definitely. The story reminds me of the book, The Surrender Experiment. That happens to be me losing life force, being in a place that doesn't resonate. Exactly. The Surrender Experiment. I'm going to write that down. So we have so much to learn from one another. That's why I love you guys writing in the chats. Do you learn about spiritual wisdom in an organized way, like a book? Office. Well, I write about it in my book, Intuitive Business Connections. Do you learn about it? Spiritual wisdom. I'm always reading. Yeah, I'm reading a book. It's called Faith, and it's all about receiving faith in our most difficult times of suffering. That's when we really, like, the dark night of the soul is really when we can have these huge spiritual breakthroughs. So when I'm kind of at my darkest and lowest, I go straight to spiritual books, which helps me often have these aha moments, awakenings, healings, clarity. And this book was talking all about, the importance of meditation, purifying the mind. For 13 years, I've been going to Vipassana meditations. I don't know if anyone know Vipassana meditation. And it's these 10-day silent retreats. Yeah. Now, Lac Renault, Renaud, Lac Renault. Yeah. And that changed my life. Like, yeah, to find calm and balance in our mind. Like, there's Vipassana, a Vipassana meditator. What does that mean, Office? What do you say? Yeah, sitting. I receive the most intuitive guidance when I'm sitting. That's actually how I wrote my book. I kind of had this, I was in the forest and I received the title very quickly, Oh, nice. And then I wrote an outline of the chapters, and then I had no idea what I was going to talk about in my book. And so every day I would take the chapter title, and I would sit for an hour, and I would just ask the question, like, what do I need to share in this book? And then all these random stories would come through. And yeah, random stories would come through, super random, from childhood, from work, just the most random things about that one title. And I didn't judge it. It was like, well, someone must need to hear this right now, so I'm going to share it. And I have just a book of like random stories. And I channeled, I felt like, I don't say, I want to say I wrote, because I channeled that book in 2 months. It was just like, boom. It was so fast. It took a lot of time to edit and, get it all set up and, the cover and all of that, proofreading all of that. But actually writing it was very fast because I channeled this through meditation. Your question about, spiritual books through wisdom. Yeah, so the point is I'm always reading. Like, I'm always reading, and the more I read, the more like, oh, I have a little shift of consciousness or like understanding. Or how many have you finished? Well, I've been doing this for over a decade. Doesn't matter how many courses I've done, but I've regularly for over a decade. And yeah, I think there's great wisdom. There's different types of yoga too. I'm a yoga teacher. So at my retreats, I'd like to talk about all aspects of yoga. And there's, 4 types of yoga that I like to talk about. The first is hatha yoga, right? So some people receive or are almost like they're spiritually liberated, or they reach some level of enlightenment through physical, right? Physical postures and physical movement. That's their path. Those yogis who are like super devoted to daily practice. I do yoga every day, but it's not my truest calling. I do it for my body and to feel good, but it's not like I am like super focused on the physical aspect of yoga. But I offer this in my retreats. We do hatha yoga, kundalini, restorative. We do it all. And then, so that's one path of yoga. Another path of yoga is called karma yoga, which is the path of service. So you are, some people may be really drawn to just serving, and they receive enlightenment through that path. Another way is bhakti yoga, which is the yoga of devotion. So you see a lot of like chanting. Last night I was at a chanting, which is, for me, my path is like I'm blissed out when I'm chanting Sanskrit, which is these really profound vibrational language that like really clear stuff, and it's heart opening, and it's just so, that's my path. I love bhakti yoga. So the yoga of devotion. And then lastly, there's jnana yoga, which is the yoga of knowledge. And so a lot of people, maybe because we all have different minds, right? We are not all the same person on the same mind. So some people are maybe more logical, or they love gaining wisdom through reading and books. People can reach enlightenment through that way. My kundalini yoga teacher, she's very I would call her very jnana yoga. She's always reading, and for her, that's where she is just blissed out, is just getting knowledge. And, I love that too. I'm reading an hour every day. I want to incorporate all 4 of those into my life. Doing teachers who are on insight time, or this is just contribution. And, we don't earn a living doing this. I would love to be able to do talks like this all day and be paid for it, but I'm not. This is my weekend. This is my weekend fun of hanging out and being with you guys, and let's talk about this and come together and let's ask questions. And for me, this is fun, and, this is a lot of fun. And so this could be more of a karma yoga, an active service. We're here just to serve. And then I'm reading every day, and then I'm doing hatha yoga every day, or some type of yoga every day. But for me, what really resonates is this bhakti yoga, which is the yoga of devotion. Yeah. My kundalini teacher is Katrina. Yeah, I know you, Melissa. You like her. Yeah, she does great lives. She's on lives. I just followed her this morning doing kundalini yoga. I'm taking a divine union of the masculine and feminine course with her. She's great. Yeah. You literally resonate like my life. Yeah. What do you mean, office? I love when people write in the chats. It's so nice to see you guys. Melissa, you're joining again. I love seeing familiar faces. Yeah. Who's here for the first time with me today? And where are you guys joining in from? Again, I always say this, one of the nicest things you guys could do is follow me as a teacher. So you can see other lives that are happening, other courses I'm going to be launching. You're welcome to San Diego. Oh, you're welcome, Melissa. All of my knowledge, yes. Oh yes, Oregon, yes. Thank you for the regulars who join me. It's so nice, so nice to see you guys again. But yeah, you can add me on Insight Timer. I encourage you to check out my website. Join my premium course. I'm going to be making some more premium courses on Insight Timer based on kind of what people are requesting. Wow, Office, you're so generous. That's so nice of you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Yeah, the more, I want to do this more. If you guys see value in this, I'll continue to do more. I want to do I do them on the weekends when I'm super zen and really in the flow. And so I'll be here again tomorrow, but an hour later. So it's going to be an hour later, and every live is completely different. It depends on the energy. It depends on my energy. Depends on the mood. I don't know. What we talk about everything here. So every live is so different and so unique. I have no idea what we're going to talk about tomorrow, which is so fun because you guys help me practice living in the present moment. I have to be super in the present moment to have something to share. And I have to be reading and also feeling a story or listening or kind of being open to a story that comes to mind. Because I don't always want to share the same stories. There always have to be they need to be different stories. And so I just love this. I love being here with you guys. I mean, your existence itself is precious. That's super beautiful to say. So beautiful to say. I want to write this down. I'm going to write this quote and post it somewhere because that's just the nicest thing to say to someone. So beautiful. I like compliments. Thanks, Larry. You are a natural. I don't think I've seen you here before. There's no picture of you. Where are you joining in from? Where are you guys joining? This is so international today. I love this. NJ10. New Jersey? I don't know what that means. NJ10. I don't know. Are you saying New Jersey? I don't know what NJ would. Okay, good. New Jersey. Well, oh, good. So it's the same time difference. I'm just a little bit north. Oh, that's so fun. But yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, we can end by the hour. And I really encourage you guys to show up tomorrow if you want. Come with new questions. You can go on my page, write questions. I love that. I'll answer you. Yeah. Yeah, it's so nice to see you again, Melissa. Yeah, I think you guys were all drawn here for a reason. I hope there was something I said. I don't know what I said that maybe could have shifted a perception or something. But yeah, I was so grateful to see you guys today. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. So have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day. Bye for now, you guys.